Hello, I am in the Virtavia B-36H from Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in this video I will show you how to cold start it and address some bugs. If you want to skip all that and have the checklist for yourself, there's a Google Drive link in the description with a full list with data charts included. If you follow this checklist and find engines 4, 5, and 6 won't start, open your control settings and search Toggle All Fuel Valves, and assign it a key. Then search Magneto won't start, and assign it the same key. You must press this key before completing any of the other parts of the checklist, and notice that the fuel valves partially turn on, both on the engineer's panel and the jet panel. You will want to turn these off before starting. If you wish to operate the aircraft accurately, you can prepare performance data from the charts on screen. These charts are also included in the checklist downloaded in the description. This checklist was made as close as possible to the real B-36H checklist, with some compromises being made for the flight simulator model. First, check your bomb bays open. Then check your oxygen systems are functional. Move to the engineer's position and check the oxygen and that all switches are positioned properly. Turn on the battery and check that the alternator panel indicates that the aircraft has power. Check the mixture range and that the orange indicator lights respond. Check the throttle range. Then check that the fuel indicators are reading correctly and move to 0 when tested. Set the air plugs to the appropriate position by right-clicking to open and left-clicking to close. Check the propeller range is set to high. There is no click spot for the propeller control in the engineer's station, so it's nice to have a keybind or physical control. Then check carb heat is set to off, panel lights as required. Then check the hydraulic panel. Check pitot heat and anti-ice are off. Check all nacelle fire detectors are off, then test the lamps. Check the temperature instruments. Then move up to the pilot's seat and set the cabin lights as required. Check landing gears extended. Check lights globe indicator lamp. Then receive the ATIS to check the radios are functional. Check reverse pitch is safe and all lights are off. Flight instruments are on. Test and set the parking brakes. Check the autopilot is off, then turn the autopilot on until nose trim is near takeoff trim so the nose doesn't pitch down in flight. Then turn the autopilot off, close the bomb bay, and set nav lights on for start. Return to the engineer's position and start the engines in the order of 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1. Check all throttles are closed and all fuel valves are open with lights set on. Set mixture of full rich. Engage starter. Once RPM peaks, engage magneto and lean mixture for idle. Repeat these steps with the other 5 engines. Once all engines are running, set idle no higher than 1400 RPM for warm-up. Test pitot and propeller heat turn on without issue. Return to the pilot station. If you have an add-on GPS like the GTN 750, now is a good time to program it. Parking brake set, reverse thrust safe, and lights off. Test throttles to 1900 RPM at full pitch. Decrease pitch control for 1700 RPM. Note the RPM and manifold pressure, then compare these with the engineer's instruments. Set reverse pitch switches to ready, then press the reverser button while monitoring the RPM and reverse indicators. Disable the reversers and set the switches to safe. Move to the engineer station and use the prop pitch to set RPM to 1400, then 1500, then 1700. Feathering can be problematic in this aircraft, so it's best to just do a full range of pitch test and then return to 1700 RPM. Next set 2800 RPM at 35 inches of manifold pressure using 2 engines at a time as not to overpower the brakes. Check carb heat functions and temps slightly rise before turning back off. Idle the engines as required and turn to the pilot seat. Normally, you would wait until you are at the runway to start the jets, but for demonstration purposes, I will do it here. Check the left and right fire detectors, and then the nose shut-off doors to open. Check that the throttles are closed, and then open the Jet 1 and 2 fuel valves, and hold the Jet 1 and 2 starters. Increase throttle to about 10% and check that oil pressure is 20 to 30 psi. Then set throttle to 20% and hold at 70% RPM and check oil pressure. Idle jets 1 and 2 and repeat these steps for jets 3 and 4. Of course, there is a lot more to do to prepare the B-36 for flight, but that would be too long for this video, so feel free to use the download for the full list below.